I've been thinking about doing this matchup for a while, but I was waiting to see the end of the Hulk Varine's story. This is the matchup that a lot of you guys have been asking me to present, and here it is: Damage vs. Weapon H, the new superheroes who are heavily inspired by the Incredible Hulk. Starting with Damage, who has been arguably considered as the DC Hulk, Ethan Avery grew up idolizing superheroes like Superman. When he was old enough, he joined the United States Army as he saw that it was the chance to become a hero. He volunteered for the Damage program, an experimental procedure which would give him superpowers. Colonel Mary Jonas interviewed Ethan and accepted him into the program due to his belief about heroism. After several tests, Ethan was given the Damage Serum, which would allow him to transform into a hulking monster known as Damage for only 1 hour a day, although he would have no control over his actions. Ethan would go on several missions as Damage, where he would completely destroy the hostile force. He began to doubt his rule because he could never remember what he did as Damage. He found himself waking up in a shelter, and was shocked watching the news when he rampaged as Damage. He was attacked by the task force team, which intend to capture him. Parasite tried to absorb his life force, but eventually collapsed because he was unable to absorb so much energy. Damage then engaged the task force team and easily defeated them. Wonder Woman then appears and fights Damage in a fierce battle, with their strength seemingly matched. She even tried to hold him with her magic lasso, only to discover the truth that the monster is actually a man. Damage attacked Diana just when the time limit of his transformation is over. She then informed the Justice League about her fight with Damage and stated that she never encountered strength like that before. Losing all faith in the Damage program, which turned him into a monster, Ethan goes back to the secret facility and turns into Damage. He finds the lab where he was turned into a monster, and finds other people who volunteered to be turned into superheroes to serve their country. But they ended up monsters just like him. Enraged, Damage destroyed the lab. This, however, attracted the attention of the Justice League, who came to stop him. Damage fights Green Lantern, Flash, Green Arrow, and Vixen, and defeats them all in less than half an hour. Superman then appears and engages Damage in a fierce fight, where the monster proves to be strong enough to match the Man of Steel. Superman admits that Damage hits harder than he expected. He tried everything within his arsenal, including his heat vision, but that all wasn't enough to put the monster down. They were evenly matched until 1 minute was left before Damage would transform to his human form. Batman then arrived with Deadman. It was shown that Superman was given all he could to match Damage's strength. Deadman phased into Damage and messed with his mind. The monster then turned into his human form with the end of the 1 hour transformation. Batman states that the goal was not for Superman to beat Damage, but only to run out the clock. In the hospital, Superman admits that Damage throws the strongest punch, suggesting that he might be physically stronger than Doomsday and Convict, the alien monster who knocked Superman out cold with one single punch. After a confrontation with Batman, Damage was left on the Monster Rock, which is inhabited by prehistoric monsters, to learn a lesson about life. Damage fought one of the monsters and overpowered him, until he was easily taken down by a giant golden ape. Ethan woke up to find himself in a cave where he met Conga Bill, the mysterious man who takes care of this island and who possesses a magical ring which connects him with the giant golden ape. Damage eventually joins forces with Conga Bill to defeat Echidna, the witch who wanted to rule the Monster Rock by controlling its monsters. Ethan then left the island after he learned how to accept his other half, and to accept the fact that they can't be separated and that they are one. Damage possesses incredible superhuman strength, speed, durability, and endurance that would allow him to engage very powerful beings such as Superman and Wonder Woman. But he is far from being indestructible. He was easily taken down by Poison Ivy, who defeated him in less than 4 minutes. He is also vulnerable to psychic attacks such as mind control and telepathy, which can affect his mind and actions. Gorilla Grodd managed to mind control Damage and knew about his human alter ego. He easily took him down, but Poison Ivy, who sympathized with Ethan, who just wanted to be a hero and not a monster, turned against her ally Grodd and attacked him, freeing Damage from the mind control. Another weakness is the 1-hour time limit, which allows Ethan to stay in the Damage form. Although he is incredibly strong, he can't defeat powerful opponents who match him in physical abilities within an hour, which would eventually turn him into his human form, giving his opponents the win. Weapon H, on the other hand, shares Damage the fact that he also gained his superpowers from an extraordinary experiment. Clayton Cartes was a military mercenary who was hired to kill some villagers for interfering with Roxxon Corporation's pipeline work. Feeling remorse for his actions, Clayton killed his own men and spared the villagers. For his betrayal, he was kidnapped and sold to Dr. Alba of the Weapon X project. Clayton was infused with the DNA of Amadeus Cho's Hulk and Old Man Logan, as well as being injected with Lady Deathstrike's nanites. Much of his brain, however, was left intact, so that he could be better disciplined. His superhuman form resembles a gray-skinned Hulk with retractable claws and adamantium protrusions on his back, shoulders, and parts of his legs. Weapon H's main enemy was the Roxxon Corporation, led by the CEO Dario Agger, who wanted to make use of Weapon H's abilities as a superpowered being who possesses the combined abilities of the Hulk and Wolverine. Roxxon set Weapon H against some incredible odds to discover more about his abilities. He fights a giant Wendigo and Man-Thing. Eventually, Dario Agger reveals his true intentions from chasing Weapon H. He explains that Roxxon wants to obtain extraterrestrial resources from an extra-dimensional region called the Weird World that has magic enough to power the planet for 1,000,000 years. However, the monsters known as the Skullduggers on the other side of the portal want to kill every human. The Skullduggers managed to get through the portal and attacked Earth. Weapon H joins forces with Captain America and defeats the monsters. Weapon H, along with some allies, travel to the Weird World to bring back some of Roxxon's employees, only to find out that Roxxon is harvesting the needed magical energy from sorceress Morgan Le Fay, the Queen of the Weird World. Weapon H stands against the inhuman imprisonment of Morgan Le Fay, despite the claims that she is the most dangerous sorceress who ever lived. After revealing parts of her backstory, Morgan Le Fay stated that she found a way to tame the Skullduggers until Roxxon invaded her world, took her captive, destroyed her palace, and caused the Skullduggers to run wild. She cast magical spells from her hand, which was freed after Weapon H attack. She mind-controlled Weapon H and transformed him back to his human form. She reveals that Agent Angel is actually Black Widow, claiming that Captain America sent her to spy on Weapon H. Still under Morgan's control, Weapon H frees the sorceress from her chains, giving her the ability to regain her control over her monsters and completely mind-controlling him. She leads him along with the hordes of the Skullduggers to rule the world. Roxxon scientists managed to get a crystal infused with vast mystical energy taken from Morgan Le Fay, but Weapon H, who was still under the control of the sorceress, attacked them. Sonya, Clayton's wife, played an important role in this story, trying to make her husband fighting the control. Dario Agger then set them up by claiming that he had an escape plan, only to trap them in a box canyon, revealing that he detonated the gun used to activate the magical crystal and that it will explode in 3 minutes. Sonya knocked out Dario Agger and teleported to the Weird World. She confronted her husband and helped him resisting the sorcerer's control. He teleported back to Roxxon, brought Dario, and forced him to deactivate the bomb. Morgan Le Fay then blasted Dario Agger and revealed his true identity as Minotaur. Weapon H helped his wife and allies to be teleported back to Earth, and then fought Minotaur and defeated him. Then they went through the portal back to Earth before it was closed by Morgan Le Fay. Dario Agger then wanted to avenge his defeat by Clayton, who warned him to stay away from his family, planning to put the Immortal Hulk and Wolverine in his way. This was revealed in the Hulkverine's three-part story, in which we see the leader escaping his prison in the Shadow Base, planning to destroy the Hulk. He infects Clayton with a gamma-draining virus and put the Hulk in his way. This eventually leads to a fight between the Immortal Hulk and Weapon H, where we see the Hulk overpowering Weapon H and using his absorbing powers to drain him, until Hulk absorbed the virus and became severely weakened, giving Weapon H the edge in the fight. Wolverine then dashed into the scene and fought Clayton before they all decided to put their differences aside and joined forces to fight Dr. Alba and the leader, who managed later on to mess with the Hulk and Wolverine's DNA, turning them into mindless Hulk with adamantium claws, and hulked out Wolverine. Relying on his military discipline, Weapon H frustrated the villain's plans and eventually resisted Dr. Alba's mind control to mess with his memories. Weapon H possesses vast superhuman strength, stamina, durability, endurance, and healing factor. He has all the Hulk and Wolverine's powers, so he gets stronger the matter like the Hulk, and he has adamantium claws just like Wolverine, which he can shoot from distance, along with regenerative healing abilities. Clayton is a skilled marksman and hand-to-hand combat expert. He has been shown powerful enough to engage Amadeus Cho Hulk and the Immortal Hulk himself. Weapon H, however, was shown vulnerable to mind control and telepathy, as he was mind controlled by the sorceress Morgan Le Fay, but also showed great resistance to her magical power when his wife Sonya intervened and helped him break in the control. Both Damage and Weapon H have superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and durability, but Weapon H definitely has the better healing factor derived from both Hulk and Wolverine, who are known for having among the greatest healing abilities in Marvel, along with Deadpool. Weapon H also gets stronger the matter and the longer the fights, just like the Hulk, unlike Damage, who is limited to 1 hour transformation, giving Weapon H a better chance of overpowering the DC Hulk. Not to mention that Weapon H has the adamantium claws, with which he can slash Damage and hurt him. Clayton also is a better fighter than Ethan, as he has more experience in hand-to-hand combat, weaponry, and mercenary warfare. Both, however, can be mind-controlled, and both had troubles dealing with their other halves as superpowered beings. Ethan was shown in conflict with Damage, and Clayton always had troubles accepting his past as a mercenary. This, however, has been changed, with Ethan accepting Damage after the Monster Rock event, and Clayton finally managed to embrace his past and memories when he resisted Dr. Alba's attempts to deprive him of his memories in the end of the Hulkverine's run. This would definitely be a great matchup, but I believe Weapon H would eventually win, due to his superior healing factor, the ability to get stronger the matter, and his adamantium claws. Weapon H is the better fighter, as Clayton is an expert marksman, mercenary, and hand-to-hand combatant, and that would give him the chance to outclass Damage, who mainly relies on his raw strength more than anything else, and who is also limited to 1 hour superpower transformation. I am planning to make more of these matchups, which I used to present in the past, so please let me know if you wanted to see a matchup in specific. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.